name is Hoda. I'm a GUC alumni. I did my undergrads at the Faculty of Applied Arts in Design. Then I flew to do my master's at Emory Carr University of Art and Design in Vancouver, Canada, and I was the master's valedictorian.
I have the honor to represent the talented and ambitious artists and designers who are graduating today from the master's program at Emory Carr.
At this time, I started digging deeper into new frameworks of design, such as human-centered design and co-design. And now my practice mainly focuses on human-centered design. When people ask me what do you do, and I say I'm a designer, they usually think I'm whether a fashion designer or interior designer or graphic designer. But the truth is that the field of design has evolved much more since 30 years ago. Now there are much more specializations and subspecializations. One of those specializations is actually interaction design. Interaction design is basically, or in simple words, is the dialogue or conversation that a person or user is having with a product or a service. So, for example, when you open an app, when you navigate a website, you're having a conversation with this app or a website. Just like human beings. Sometimes you meet people, you have a small talk, and then you walk away, you never remember them again. But if it's a good interaction, you'll remember them, you'll trust them, and maybe you'll do good business with them. So that's basically good interaction design. So if interaction design is the conversation, user experience design is the logic behind this conversation. When you meet someone and you say hello and they reply with a goodbye, that's an interaction with a bad experience, meaning that's a dialogue with actually bad logic. The same thing can happen with a website and app. If you open an app, you're trying to check out, you bought something and it's not actually letting you check out, that's a bad interaction because there's no logic behind how you would actually check out your items or services. Finally, UI design or user interface design is giving a visual for this interaction and this experience. So all of those fonts, text on a website, buttons, breadcrumbs, all of these things facilitate your interaction with the product or service following a specific logic. One of the apps I worked on improving their user experience design is Alagi. And Alagi came as a response for the medication crisis in Egypt that we've seen in the last 2 years due to economic problems. So it tries to connect patients with their medication, let them compare their prices, and even let them order it for home delivery. I started working on Alagi based on survey works or quantitative works such as SWOT analysis, competition analysis, looking at some market predictions. And then afterwards, we translated this into empathy maps, personas, and storyboards. As a UX designer, I have to build empathy with the user I'm designing for. So I have to understand their point of pain and frustrations during a specific interaction. And I do that using human-centered design techniques. Human-centered design basically put the user at the center of the design and the design process. And this gets translated into things like empathy maps, storyboards, personas. And then following that is the information architecture of the app or the system I'm designing for. And then simple wireframes or low fidelity wireframes that get tested and iterated based on these testings. And then after a couple of low fidelity iterations and updates for the wireframes, we start then building the high fidelity prototype. After that, if the high fidelity prototype is good and it's ready to go, then the developer would take it and start actually implementing it. So whether it's a website or an app, I think industries could and should benefit from the process of user experience because it provides valuable insights into the user and definitely would improve the overall interaction with the design or product. So from a business perspective, we're seeing research from Forrester saying that good UX design could actually increase conversion rate by 400%, meaning that you're 4 times more likely to convert the user and to let them do business with you if you have a good UX design. So personally, I think that at the core of human-centered design is human-centered decision-making that helps communities and users at large. And I think user experience design with all its techniques and methods do facilitate this human-centered decision-making.